How's it going, y'all? Welcome to the Wallamoose Morning Show, pending a better name, I swear. But this is the first one, so it may not be perfect, but Rome wasn't built in a day, so this will get better over time. But this is your bi-weekly source for all things Pokemon news, restocks, as well as meta moves. So we'll talk about gameplay as well. And for those interested, each episode will have a featured deck list, and then there'll be an after show, which is a separate video where I actually run through the deck. I didn't want to muddy up this episode for those not interested in gameplay, so there will be that after show for those who are. But without further ado, let's jump into all the good stuff happening in the Pokemon world. So with the release of Nullifying Zero, which is a Japanese Pokemon set that came out January 23rd, we now have a look at all the cards coming to Perfect Order, which is the English version of that set, coming out in March. Now this will be an incredibly small set. I believe off the top of my head, it was like something like 80 cards plus the special rares, so very, very small. But if you're in need of a large set, we have Ascended Heroes coming out next week in English. Now, Ascended Heroes will be a special set, kind of like Prismatic last year, and this will be the largest English set ever created, which, oh man, it's fine. It's fine having the largest set ever created, but the release schedule is going to be super weird. Now, it's normal for special sets to have a staggered release, but the release for Ascended Heroes is kind of problematic. So initially we were going to get 3-pack blisters and 2-pack blisters, but now the 2-pack trainer blisters have been delayed a month to February, and now the official release for Ascended Heroes, we are just getting 3-pack blisters, which it's going to be hard to find. Everyone's going to be searching for this set. You've got the chase, like the Dragonite, the Mega Dragonite SIR. You've got the new Gold Charizard. You got the Gengar. I can't believe I forgot about the Gengar. A lot of really sought after cards going to be in the set. So I believe it will be kind of hard to find, unfortunately. Now, Ascended Heroes aside and that unfortunate release schedule, let's talk about the English set coming out in March, and that is Perfect Order. So that will be the set that Mega Zygarde will be the feature for. And like I mentioned a second ago, the Japanese set Nullifying Zero came out last week, so we now know all the SIRs coming. It is crazy unfortunate that Tyrantrum is not getting special treatment. Now we are getting the Tyrant ETB promo, and we are getting the Aurora's illustration rare, but it's so crazy that Tyrantrum is not getting an IR or an SIR. Maybe we'll get one in a later promo or a later set, but dude, it's crazy unfortunate. But let's take a look at the special arts coming to Perfect Order. First up, we got Spupa. Again, the common card was not in the museum. Neither is the IR. He's just sitting on a bench. Next up, we got this Rowlet. I love these simple cards. Sometimes it can be a little too simple, like the Booger Mew, if y'all remember that. That one I didn't love. It was a bit too simple, but this Rowlet, there's still enough going on the canvas, and it's clean, it's simple, but it's still not super boring. I don't want to run through all these individually. We're just going to look at them as an overview. Like I mentioned, the Auroras is getting an IR. I love that. It's very simple, but very daunting in the frame. It looks huge with the tree in the foreground, the snowy atmosphere. Love that. Again, it's super unfortunate Tyrantrum is not getting the same treatment. Like I mentioned, Tyrant is getting the promo for the ETB. Love it. Very cartoony, clean art style. I'm noticing kind of a theme across a lot of the IRs in this set. This Doublade is super cool with him like against all the other weapons. Interesting implications on the lore behind what's going on in this room. A lot of weaponry. Raticate kind of looks like it goes with the Gumshoos from, what was it, Destined Rivals. It kind of looks like the same alley. I love the treatment of the eyes on the Rattata. Very cool. And then we've got the full art. So Decidueye, Salazzle, Mega Starmie, Mega Clefable, Mega Zygarde, Yveltal, Skarmory, Meowth, Energy Recycler, Sacred Ash, Pokepad and Wondrous Patch are all getting full arts. Love the continuation of the items for the full arts, and then we're getting the trainers and stadiums. Now, this Forest of Vitality, super excited about. This is a very popular card, especially with the Mega Venusaur decks, and we are getting a lot of strong grass cards in this set. So, oh, the Spupa right there. I just noticed that. Cute little guy hiding down there. What's he doing? But then, of course, the SIR is the thing everyone loves. Jacynth, very cool for a trainer card. I'm noticing a lot of the trainer SIRs have been top notch. Rose doesn't encouragement, very nice as well. This kind of reminds me of the, I've gone blank. It reminds me of another one, but I can't think of what it is. We've got the Meowth, which is kind of dividing people. A lot of people don't think it looks up to par for an SIR, and a lot of people are upset that Meowth is getting an SIR above other Pokemon. Mega Starmie looks good. Mega Clefable does not look good. I personally think it just looks like a full art. There's nothing distinguishing about it as an SIR. Great artwork to the artist. It doesn't look like an SIR, but Mega Zygarde does. I love this one. It kind of reminds me of the Charizard. I think overall Perfect Order will be a not slept on set. I think people will just choose not to chase after it. People are calling it Shrouded Fable 2.0. I loved Shrouded Fable. I don't think, just because here's the thing that gets on my nerves. So people always complain that Pokemon uses the same Pokemon over and over. Pikachu, Charizard, Gengar, and then when you get a set that doesn't use, people are upset. They're like, oh, no one cares about these Pokemon. So you're upset that Pokemon overuses some and doesn't give treatment to some of lesser Pokemon. And then when they do, like Mega Starmie, Mega Clefable, Zygarde, they complain about it. So I'm not sure what people want. I think people just are never happy about anything. Me personally, I'm excited about this set. Any new Pokemon set I'm excited about, but it's interesting to see how much it'll set on the shelves or how cheap the prices will go for these special cards. Now we are getting close to the release of the 30th bundle with the 30th coin and the promo and the 3 packs. So that will come out this month, but Pokemon Day is next month. We have no word about the 30th anniversary set. We know what it's going to be called. I think it's called Celebration off the top of my head, I believe, but nothing about what it's going to be. Is it going to be reprints? Is it going to be stamped? We have theories, but no words on it. I'm hoping in these next few weeks we'll get more information on this new 30th anniversary set coming up, or just some things in general. I think the only thing we have confirmed are the first partners collection. So in March, we will have the first round of 3. And so it'll be 9 Pokemon worth, 3 generations worth, and then there will be 2 more batches. And so eventually every starter, every first partner, like Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, those are first partners, all 9 generations times 3, so 27. There'll be 27 illustration rares for all of these starters. That's the only thing we know for sure coming, and again, that will start in March. And then also there's a theory or leaks that McDonald's will get the Burger Chew promo. I think that will be a disaster. Hopefully they'll do that after, kind of between hype periods. I think a lot of people are focusing on One Piece, and so people can focus on One Piece while McDonald's slowly releases this promo over here. Hopefully it'll be easier to find, but Japan saw a lot of food waste with that promo because people were just ordering meals upon meals and then selling the promos for $50. So it was a disaster. I'm hoping when it comes to the States that it'll be a little bit better. Now let's talk about restocks and what's happening in the restock world. So I'm sure you know there's a whole bunch of Discords out there that you can either pay for that are free that give you information on restocks. Now, there was one going around recently. I'm not going to say who it was because I believe they were doing it just for clout, just to get people to sign up for their Discord. But there were a few Discords spouting out that Target was going to have a restock of 151 UPCs, ETBs, and then prismatic stuff. So obviously, if you see that, you're like, oh my gosh, that is huge. I need to get that. I need to sign up for that Discord. The whole thing was fake. The Target is not getting 151 reprints. They're not getting prismatic right now. We are getting prismatic somewhere else, but I'll tell you that in a second. I just want you to know that the Target restock for that bundle of prismatic they were talking about, the 151 stuff, and especially the 151 UPC, odds are if you see a restock and it's too good to be true, it probably is. That's a good rule of thumb for anything Pokemon. If it's probably too good to be true, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. But let's talk about confirmed restocks. So Costco and Sam's are really knocking it out of the park, and they're probably your best bet for getting a good deal. GameStop, don't even think about it. The prices for GameStop are crazy. Walmart, you still have your typical weekly restocks, but major things coming to Costco. They are restocking and re-upping the production of the Unova heavy hitters, which is the black and white premium box. That will be in person for sure every now and then at Costco. So just stop by and see. It's different for every local one. I'm not sure. I can't tell you exactly what time or where to go. If you want to sign up for a Discord, you can do that. But the Unova heavy hitters have been seen at a lot of Costco's. Costco is also getting the Charizard UPC, and they're selling it for $89.99 in store. And then online, they're selling a 2-pack for like $150. It's something crazy. I think maybe $159.99. I'm sure the online one is most likely sold out, but they are trying to reprint and get the Charizard UPC into the physical stores. Now, Sam's Club, I don't know about the Unova and the Charizard UPC, but Sam's Club is getting reprints of prismatic SPCs, which is super cool. And I know they had a deal where it was like 2 SPCs for like $129. So basically, you buy one, get one free at Sam's, which is crazy. But hopefully if you pop into your Sam's Club, you can see some every now and then. Again, I don't know the exact day. I just know Sam's is actively working on getting those restocks. Next, let's move into the meta game. So I like using limitlesstcg.com. If you haven't checked them out, it's a resource for finding deck lists and recent tournament results. And you can pull up the deck lists of people who won recently. So regionals just happened in Toronto, I believe. So let's check out the tournaments. Yes, regional Toronto in Canada was last weekend, and it looks like out of 2,200 players in the Masters division, Giovanni Sasso won, and he's from Brazil. Man, Brazil, Pedro Pertusi, he won LAIC, so Brazil is really killing it. But let's check out what his deck list was. It looks like Gardevoir Jellicent was crowned champion at Regionals Toronto. It looks like a lot of people are still playing Dragapult Dusknoir, another Gardevoir, Raging Bolt Ogerpon. That's crazy. 1 second. Goldingo. Thank goodness Goldingo is dropping in the rankings at 8th. And it's incredibly surprising Grimmsnarl Frostless made it to 9th place. He must be an incredibly good player if he can compete. And then Gardevoir, Charizard is way lower than I thought. I guess we'll probably see the resurgence of Charizard after rotation and Gardevoir goes out. But let's take a look at the deck list of Giovanni to see what he is playing. I think it's cool. Gardevoir, I love piloting Gardevoir. I'm sad to see her go with rotation. I know a lot of people are happy. But as we can see, the championship deck was only $44, which is something I love about Pokemon. But I'm really surprised we've made Gardevoir and Jellicent work. Jellicent is a card from White Flare, which as long as his Pokemon's in the active spot, your opponent can't play an item card or tool card from their hand. So it's basically Badoo on steroids. And when it first came out, we were all excited about it, but we couldn't exactly get it to work for Worlds. But now I think people have kind of settled in. Gardevoir players have figured out Jellicent, and the Gardevoir Jellicent combo has been really, really strong. So with rotation, this deck is pretty much dead. So you've got 4 Ionos, Arven, Nest Ball. They're playing Bravery Charm, Artazon. Let's see. Mew EX will rotate. Gardevoir EX will rotate. Will Latias rotate? No, Latias is here to stay. But let's take a look. I've got a featured deck list that I want to talk about today. That is, it's actually pretty popular in the local scene. Not really a major meta competitor. You wouldn't take this to regionals just because it's fun to play, but it's super annoying. So it is Crustle, and we are specifically looking at the Crustle from Destined Rivals. So its move, Mysterious Rock In, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your Pokemon's EX. That does include Megas, because Megas are Pokemon EX. So most every deck you run into plays plays EX Pokemon. And now we're getting into where a lot of people play Mega EX Pokemon. So with Crustle in play, they're not going to be able to attack you. So this is basically a super crazy wall deck. And what you want to do is essentially wall them until they deck out. Or just be super annoying with chipping away at 120 damage. So You've also got Munkidori, which moves energy off of Crustle onto their Pokemon, so you can take knockouts that way. And it's just a way to keep your Crustle on board longer and just keep getting damage off of them. This deck also runs Ogerpon, which has an ability where prevent all damage done to by Pokemon that have an ability. So if they have an EX Pokemon, or if they have a non-EX Pokemon, but it does have an ability, you can switch in Ogerpon and they're not going to be able to attack you. So you're basically shutting them down for good. And then Psyduck is there in case they have Duskull or Dusknoir, because they're not going to be able to use them because Psyduck prevents any abilities that knock out itself. But we're also playing Luxurious Cape, which gives your opponent or gives your Pokemon 100 HP. However, if they get knocked out, they take one more prize card. But however, since this is a single prize deck with Crustle, it doesn't really matter too much. So your Crustle can have 250 HP, and with the Munkidoris, it just makes it super difficult to actually attack, and then when you do, to actually knock out your Crustle. So I'll put this deck link in the description below if you want to copy it, and then in the after show, I'll post a link in the description below for that, where we actually put this deck in application and see how it does against an opponent. So that's it for this episode. I feel like it went pretty well. I would love your feedback as far as what would be informational. What do you think is just yapping and useless? I want this to be streamlined. I don't know how long this is going to be, but ideally I want to make each episode like 10 to 15 minutes easily, so you can just like quickly hear the important stuff and then move on with your day. Don't forget, there's going to be the after show, which link in the description or at the end of this video for the Crustle playtest. And so if you're into the TCG gameplay, you can see the Crustle in action. But again, comment below any tips, any feedback. I would love feedback. And then at the end of each episode, I want to do like a creator shout out for like smaller creators on Instagram, YouTube, or wherever. Just to show some love to other people in the community. So if you want to be featured, just comment below, be like, hey, shout me out. And I'll keep a list and try to feature and shout out someone at the end of every episode. I want this to be like a community building thing, a fun thing you can look forward to every Tuesday and Friday. But that's it for this one. I appreciate you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I'll see you on Friday.